The FDA is basically a hero fallen from grace because, yes, believe it or not, they were great once. Before the establishment of the FDA, there was a terrifying amount of risk with food and medication. They were putting chalk and water into milk just to increase its volume. Medication would be cut or diluted. Supplements and foods would boast themselves as cures or treatments for ailments with virtually no science to back them up. Don't get me wrong, this one does still happen sometimes due to a bunch of supplement loopholes, which maybe I'll cover in a future episode if there's enough comments requesting it. But imagine taking a medication today and dying from arsenic poisoning. This was a real worry at one point. Basically, food and medicine were the Wild West. Anything goes, no oversight. Buying almost anything was a gamble until the late 1800s. The FDA rolled up like the Avengers, ready to clap Thanos' cheeks, literally running to the front lines just to protect us all. Food, they were checking it. Chemicals, they were checking it in our food and the stuff that we were cleaning with. Drugs, safe. Agriculture, insecticide. The list is huge, and it's arguably gotten even bigger the longer they've been around. They were and still are seemingly everywhere. They are in our pharmacies, they're in our cupboards, they are in our farms, they're in your walls. And despite all of this good, due to corporate lobbying, we started to see the cracks appear. These folks flipped quicker than Palpatine once they realized the amount of money and power that they had. Why though? And how do they get away with it in plain sight? I'm glad you asked. I'm actually going to give you a few examples here. See, the FDA relies on funding from the industries that it regulates. In 2018, we learned the FDA had approved a powerful opioid painkiller called Disuvia, despite objections from its own advisory committee. Basically, the employees were pointing out that this is a bad idea, and they're essentially just like,
nah, it'll be fine.
Is it a coincidence that the drug manufacturer had very strong ties to the FDA? Nah, of course not. No way. Not at all. The FDA is a federal agency, so obviously it can be subjected to political pressure. In 2004, the FDA was criticized for how it handled the approval process for the morning after pill, also known as Plan B. It was delayed for years and years and years and years, claiming concerns about its safety and its efficacy. But was there a different reason? Critics believe it was really due to pressure coming from the conservative Christian right. Similar to that first example, in the 1990s, the FDA banned the use of silicone for cosmetic uses, in this case, breast implants. And wow, they were actually right about this. Look up #explants. Anywhere, any social media really. You'll hear the stories of women getting their implants removed, the illnesses, the complications, and so much more. Allegedly, of course. The implant manufacturers launched this massive campaign arguing that they were in fact safe. They hired former FDA employees and consultants who obviously knew their way around the FDA, and in 1995, the FDA lifted the ban on silicone implants, claiming, oh, they found new evidence, and now they're going to allow them. Lobbying campaigns are something of an example of Stockholm Syndrome. Part of their efforts are to convince the public things are safe and that the government is just oppressing them, and this usually ends up pushing citizens to fight on the behalf of the corporations, which in this case and many other cases ended up being deadly. Kind of like Jack 3D back when I was in high school and ephedra. It is a perfect example of what they say in Batman.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode. If you got some value out of that, please give me a little subscribe somewhere in there, whether that is on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening right now. And you can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everywhere, honestly, at AndrewPFM. So yeah, guys, until next time, we'll see y'all later.